look, you watch. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Clarity TV. We know that there's some kind of weird...
It's obviously a time delay.
A time lapse, yeah. So anyway, we're here and it's 10 o'clock in the morning,
Good morning.
On Friday, the 21st of February. Welcome. And this is my friend Paul Church. My name is Barbara Gray, and we're set for a couple of really cool hours today.
Yes, we're having a party.
We're having a brush party. Yay. They're in the building. Yeah, that won't take long.
Why do I bend down?
Finally, the brushes are back in stock.
They are indeed.
They're in the building. We've been waiting many, many months for our beautiful stencil brushes. And so to celebrate, we actually even designed really quickly. All right, me. The royal we designed a really lovely landscape
set of masks,
because I wanted to launch the fact that the brushes are back in the building with something where you really need the brushes. And so more will be revealed, but you'll see that we've added a couple of beautiful landscape masks and stamps, a little collaboration there with our jazz to the mix. So we've got a couple of really fantastic different.
We have, and yeah, I mean, last year, I remember it was my first day back from holiday, and you launched the original collection of the Treescape stamps with those landscape masks.
Yeah.
And they went absolutely mad.
I think we really enjoy doing it. We crafters really enjoy it. And the masks are just beautiful backgrounds and they lend themselves perfectly. So the tree stamps work beautifully on their own.
Yeah.
And all the little worker stamps, which work very nicely with the stamp pens.
Stamp pen, yeah.
And then you've got the masks as well. But we will show you. We're just letting a few friends join us first.
We are
before we go for it. Let's talk about the brushes. What's on offer with these fantastic
so the brushes, so they are finally back in stock. So what Barb's done, she's done a very special offer. If you buy the brushes, then you're going to get a pack of spot-on sponges. So let me bring up some details for you on that screen.
The thing is, with the masks, when we start doing the landscapes in a minute, what you'll see is you need both. You need the brushes and the sponges to create the depth and the crispness of the lines.
Yes.
And so I thought, right, if loads of our friends have obviously pre-ordered, half the stock's gone out on pre-order. It's like, oh no. Oh, okay, let's go again.
Another order, yeah.
Only takes about 6 months, doesn't it?
Yeah. Might have enough till then.
But what we've got is these sponges as well. So you buy a set of the brushes
and you get the spot-on sponges for free. So the saving on your screen, so normally it should be £28.98. You're going to pay £24.99. However, if you belong to our clubs, and I know many of you took advantage of our half-price club member sale, which finished on Wednesday, and signed up to the clubs.
Brilliant.
So if you became a diamond member, that means you're going to pay £21.24 for that. These are a gift from Barb.
Yeah, because we're so grateful that these are back in the building. You know, I even cracked open a new box.
I know,
because I thought,
we wonder where the stock goes.
Yeah, no, I cracked open a new set. And the large one, it lost a few hairs. I think it's been on the boat too long, Paul. It's coming out in sympathy with you.
Yeah, thanks. So for our friends that are tuning in for the first time, can we talk about the brushes, the quality, what they're made of?
Okay, so these are synthetic brushes. They're like sash brushes, and they're pointed. So what you'll find is they're really smooth. They're really nice for makeup, actually. If you want a really nice brush for your makeup, these are like silk.
Okay.
They're tied together. The bristles are put together with stainless steel. So if you use them for ink or paint and you wash them, they don't rust. Perfect. And the handles are bamboo, so they also don't rot. They've got holes in the front if you wanted to hang them up. I keep mine in a basket. I keep
a bouquet of brushes.
Bouquet of flowers. There you go. They work really beautifully, and I'm going to show you how they work.
So, and with your collection of brushes, Barbara, you always say that obviously if you've got one for red, one for green, but one for yellow only, you don't use it with any other colour, do you?
No. You know, you can see from my brushes here, I've got a couple of blues. So I use a lot of blues and teals.
Yeah.
But I've got a yellow. I needed a new yellow. My yellow was getting a bit manky, right?
technical term.
But yeah, the yellow this is the thing. If you put a yellow down, then that's why you always start with the yellow. You'll see when I start doing the landscape, because if I go in with the orange first and then go in with the yellow, immediately my yellow brush will pick up the orange, and then it's not true yellow anymore. If I put a blue down and then go in with my yellow, I can guarantee you it's going to go green, and my brush will go green. So you always you keep the yellow for yellow. You go in with that one first. If you want to add yellow afterwards, and you think, oh, if I put it over that blue, because I want a bit of green, then that's where the sponges come in. Then you use the sponge to add, rather than contaminate your brush.
The other option
to get more
is you just have a set of brushes for yellow. So you've got all four sizes for a yellow, and then just another box.
I'll tell you what, I've got bins of these. Also, the other thing that I mean, I'm lucky because obviously I've got access, right? Yeah. But I would also say that if you use the chalky inks like Distress Oxides, what you'll find is if you use a Distress Oxide with the brushes, they work beautifully. But then if you go into a dye-based ink like a Distress Normal ink pad or an Adirondack or an Artistry ink, what you'll find is that you'll get like a film of light that comes off the brush onto the ink pad.
Oh, right. Okay.
So you can go that route. It's not going to, these are tools. These are all tools of the trade. Then you just need to take a tissue, not wet, just take a tissue and rub the surface of the ink pad and it'll go away. I've got Distress Oxides, paint, Distress. I use 3 different brushes. I was it was getting a little bit thin on the ground at home. So I was starting to pick through. And also I get impatient. If I'm in the process, then I don't want to start running around looking for a yellow brush, so I tend to.
Yeah, and I think that makes sense. And similar when you're working with the brayer, once it gets to a stage, you then transfer it to your paint. So you do that with the brushes as well.
I tell you what though, right, I had this is interesting. So I had a speedball brayer. They're like really expensive now. So, we're not even selling them anymore because they're too expensive. But I've got loads of speedball brayers and they get coated in acrylic paint. And then after a while they get if you're a mixed media artist, you know what I'm saying here. So, and then it gets like a layer on layer on layer, and then the surface of the brayer starts to get rills in it, like tracks, like from the runny paint. We're going to do it later on anyway. I'm going to show you. What have I got here? Let me see. So this one's not bad, right? But after a period of time, right, if I show you, after a period of time, they get really grungy.
Right.
So I was using, and then it affects the jelly plate, the surface of the jelly plate, because you get it transfers the runs. It's like a mark maker.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So I had one that was beyond. It was so like it was a mark maker, not a brayer anymore. So I thought, so I put it in a bowl of water.
Right.
So I thought it's either going to play or it's
in the bin.
Yeah. Or it's being discarded. And so I put it in the water and I left it there for a couple of days. Just in the water. Not soapy water, just cold water. And when I went back to it, I was able to peel. It was just, it all rolled off.
Really?
Yeah, I took the whole lot off. And lo, underneath was a beautiful brayer. Yay.
Nice.
So I'm glad I didn't throw that away.
God. Yeah, I suppose. But I would have thought you would have had to have scrubbed it. But then potentially if you scrub it, then
you get all the bits.
Mark.
But because I left it for 2 days, and because there was that much, there was that kind of a crust, like a real crust around it. It just peeled off. Like it was quite nice to do. You know, when you peel off wallpaper, my dad used to really get annoyed with me. Where my head was in the bed, I digress. There was a seam. Right, and I remember lying in bed at night, and I start picking, and by the morning, half that wall I was a pick. Not really obsessive compulsive or anything like that,
but
right?
It's the addiction.
Yeah, just picking. My dad was like, "What are you doing?" Mind you, I can top that story with my brother.
Go on.
Right. So my dad decorated he was about 3 years old, and my dad really hard all the, like planes, trains, and automobiles all over, right? all beautiful, lined it all up. It was a real proper work of art. In the morning, he came in, and everywhere where there was a blank space was a scribble where Steve had gone at it with a biro. My dad was like, oh, what have you done? And he goes, there's no planes.
So that's where Steve ventured into art.
Yeah, that was his art. Yeah, so my little scratching at the wallpaper, it's amazing that they were alive, really. Anyway, back to the story.
Yeah, so brushes back in stock.
How did I end up with wallpaper? Anyway,
it was the brayer, peeling of the brayer.
The peeling of the brayer, yeah. A little bit of a meander there, but we got back. You'll go.
All right.
You'll go,
okay,
Paul.
so the brushes back in stock. That price is saving of £3.99. Item number on your screen is 31763. And there you go, a gift from Barb. And if you're in the club, you then get your additional discount as well.
Okay. So I think we've got plenty of friends in the building now, it's time to show them the new. Should we show them the new?
Yes. I'm sure some of our friends, they joined you in the shack last night.
Yeah.
And you were talking about the show coming up today about some new marks. And they jumped ahead, and there were some orders through the night. I'm not going to mention any names.
All right, Ken. Thanks very much.
Not yet.
No.
He must have been asleep. So, should we bring up the details on the screen? If I bring up the L, should we have a look at the pack shot?
Yes.
Okay. So, what we have here, we've got two brand new. Everything's available individually. You've got two A6 square stamp and mask sets. Now, one of them is called Hilltop, and the other one is called Wild West. And then following on from the same theme as when we released the original collection, you've then got some additional masks, and you'll notice that these ones are slightly different. So this is called the Perspective Landscape collection. So you've got the masks in the 6x6, and then you've also got them in 4x4.
So let me just clarify that, just in case it's not clear.
Yeah.
When you buy a set of stamps, you automatically get the mask with it. So one, for example, with the trees that look like Kentish apple trees, you get that rolling, that perspective one with the high hilltop.
Yeah.
Right. And then if you buy the one with the cacti and the cowboy, then you get that plateau, that rocky mountain range.
Yes.
Right. So they're very interestingly, though, that could quite easily be an English landscape, you know, and it doesn't have to be in the deep south or the southwest. Not at all. Just depends entirely what colours you use and what you put over the top of it.
Of course, yeah.
So those two are sets, and then below there are just two packs of extra masks or additional masks, and you've got a pack of 4x4s, one of each.
So and you've got same as the two that come with the stamps.
Yeah. So when if for example you're buying the two sets of stamps with the masks, then do yourself a favour and pop another set of the 4x4s in. They are reusable masks.
Yes.
They so are. But I just know that it's so addictive that when you start working on this, you
want to have a couple on the go.
You do, and the same with the 6x6. That's just a larger format.
Yeah.
And it also, whether you can use them several times.
Yeah.
Right. But if you use paint, if you go to a jelly plate, if you use a different,
it's going to have the residue and.
So it's good to have more than one.
Yeah.
Same with the brushes.
And I think the same when you did the original launch of the collection back in October, we did exactly the same. So the 5 sets of stamps, which we can have a look at a little bit later. Yeah. We also did additional masks with those as well. And everyone was buying those. I remember that show. It was like first day back, and wow, what just happened?
Back in the building. The other thing is as well, when you're working with these stamps, you have to remember that they work independently. The masks are they're just an art form that I've developed. These particular new ones, they've been like a week. It's been a week.
Yeah.
You know, I literally thought, hang on, the brushes are in the building. We've got to have a brush party. We really need to celebrate. What do we do?
We spoke about this. It was last Thursday. It was literally before I went up to TV.
Yeah.
And you were starting to sketch.
Yeah.
Because we did the show at 10 o'clock in the morning. And then by the time I came back in on Monday, they were done. So they're that quick, they haven't even gone out to a design team yet.
That was my point. We don't have any artwork apart from my own to support this.
Yeah.
It will happen, you know, organically, and I'm sure that loads of the design team will be ordering them as well because they're addicted to them.
One did last night.
Oh, did But the point I'm making is that that these are just they're very creative and very playful. So let's take a closer look at them.
Yeah.
Right, and you can see then
what we're doing. That? So
we'll
if you want these stamps
one.
individually, yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
So if we start individually, coming a bit closer.
There we go.
Right, so you can see here, this is a Jazz and Barb collaboration. I drew a little cottage. We've got the trees going. I love these trees.
Look at the tiny house.
I know. It's all a matter of perspective.
Wow.
Okay. So what we did here was we've got the big crow, the raven, the eagle, if you like.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got the trees in different sizes. So we've got large, medium, and small.
Yeah.
Large, medium, and small. Tiny little verges, large, medium, and small. These tiny trees here are exquisite.
The detail on those.
If I show you, let me just show you a piece of artwork. Okay, I'll show you. Let's go to the mask in the background. So here we've got the mask that goes with it.
Okay.
Okay. So if I just show you one piece of artwork, right now you can see.
Oh yeah.
There's the mask. This is just a 3.5 by 3.5. So I'm not even taking full advantage of the 4-inch.
Right.
I'll show you how to use that. But I'm saying that you can use any part of the mask. You could just use that bit. That's why I said you want more than one, really.
Yeah.
You could do a 2x4. Just do the top bit.
Yeah.
You can extend the sky. Stop it there and make this. It's up to you. I'll show you how you can stretch the sky.
I remember you showed last year on that one with the original collection.
So this one's a little bit different because it cuts into the actual panorama, as opposed to. Why are we opening that, Paul?
So as a comparison to what the original ones look like.
Okay.
Yeah, if you wanted to do that.
Yeah, but if you look at these ones, for example, the original ones, all the landscapes were. They cut, well, there's a cut across the sky, but you can see how they were very sky centric, whereas these ones, very moons and skies. This is all about land.
The landscape.
So you can see the difference. There's definitely a difference in the application, but they're 4x4.
Yes.
So they're a really great addition to the original ones, right? And I'll show you. Where's that other piece of art? Just stay there 1 second. And I will find.
So if you're interested in the complete collection where you're going to get both of the stamp sets and top-up masks, the item number for that is 21233, £31.98. If you're a Diamond Club member, £27.18.
So I just popped this one on here, and this was an idea that I wanted to show you. Look at these little, see the little tree.
Should we come in a little bit closer on that one?
If you can, yeah. So let's have a look at the sharpness there.
Wow.
Yeah. So I know I overcooked it a little bit with the reflection, but I got excited. So you can see I tried to make like a shadow.
Yeah.
Right. But the bird is the one.
It is.
Okay, because it really looks like it's. So that's what I mean about perspective. You're above the bird.
Yeah. And that bird would work perfectly with the other stamp set. That reminds me of sort of like not Mohican, what's that desert?
Yeah.
It's not the Mohican desert, is it? The Mojave?
Yes.
The Mojave desert.
Yeah, but you can see how you could use the eagle.
Yeah.
I mean, I did the reflection a little bit dark maybe, but you get the idea because it looks like a shadow on the ground, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it's not a smaller stamp, it's the same stamp, just
the
echo.
Second generation. Yeah.
Which so you're using that mask now to create these backgrounds. I've got loads of other ideas.
And that's the same mask to create both of those landscapes.
Yeah, that's right. So loads of room for play here, and I'll keep going with that as well.
Okay, so if you want just a stamp set on its own, the item number is 12113, and that will be £10.99. If you're in the club, Diamond Club member, it brings it down to £9.34.
And then we've got the second set. So this is the Take a Walk on the Wild side. These are when you see how these stamp out, is that as close? Yeah, that's as close. Can we get closer? Right. So when you stamp these out, you'll see that there's actually a light.
Oh, the shadow type.
Yeah. So, and that's really superb when you stamp it out.
The detail on that. Wow.
I know. let me show you an example of that one. There you go. So you can see here on that aloe vera. Hello, Vera.
Hello, Vera. How you doing?
You can see the detail on the aloe vera and also the cottonwood tree. Jazz and I said, because I've got connections with New Mexico.
Yeah.
I wanted to kind of bring in a tree, this tree here. The detail on this one is absolutely superb. And you can use bits of it for a hedge. Yeah. And you know what? That would look fine in my back garden, just because I've gone, oh, let's do a cottonwood tree and let's put it in Arizona or New Mexico. Right. These are very Arizona. I haven't seen many of these in New Mexico. You see a lot of these in Mexico or Arizona.
Yeah.
But and then the little cow, look at this little fella. Look.
Itsy bitsy.
And on this one, right, so they tie in. You got they're circling now.
Circling the desert.
You want to make a little nervous? Not much.
Run. Giddy up.
But you can see how you go larger to the front and then further it goes. But again, the perspective.
And the backgrounds with the masks and the brushes and the spot-on sponges.
So this is the mask on this one.
Wow.
Yeah. And this is just at its very simplest, you know, I just wanted to show you how you can, imagine.
Yeah,
right,
I'm imagining.
This is actually the ocean. Just pretend.
Yeah.
That if you made that blue, this strip here, I did it deliberately with a straight line so that you could. It
could be water.
You could take both of those out and make a deeper sky.
Yeah.
Right? You could take that one out, and make all of that sky. Do you see what I mean? Or you could take these two out and make all of that water. Or you could just put water in the background. Do you see what I'm getting at? It's entirely up to you.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? And consider, I remember back in the day, your hills and mountains was a piece of torn paper.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to do that out of torn paper.
No, no. But I get excited about these because they're so creative.
And for me, the colour options as well, where the colours come from. And as you say, just by changing the colour of that background, removing one of the masks, that it could be a sea or a lake. And
if we'll have a look, I think what I'd like to do is have a look at the old ones as well, because they're so beautiful. If you didn't catch them in October or November, then they haven't been out to play since then.
Once, I think, but I think it was just sort of like, because you was using the elements on some of the stamps, but that was it.
So the thing is that we've got those, and then we've also got, can we show the
additional masks?
Yeah.
There we go.
So I think you'll enjoy seeing the masks as well. So you've got these, they've got a pair in there, the 6x6s, and then you've got a pair in there, which is the 4x4s.
Yeah.
So there are 2 masks and 2 masks, right?
Nice.
And they're well worth having.
They are. So the item numbers individually is for those. The large ones, the 6x6, is 31764. If you just want another size to go with your stamps, then it's 31765. But if you want to go for that whole collection, to top up with your stencil brushes that no doubt you're adding into your basket, it's 21233.
There you go.
Okay.
So I tell you what, just quickly, we'll just take a look at the actual previous collection.
Yeah.
And then I'll get into a demo.
Perfect.
You cool with that?
Absolutely. Okay.
So I'll give you that.
Swap you that over then.
So each one of these sets comes with its own mask.
Yes.
Right. So where are them?
So we've got them there.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll take a look at the sets.
Complete collection.
So all of these trees, which are beautiful, beautiful trees, right? You can see here, Paul, if you take over.
There we go. So the item number is 12038. The RRP is £54.95. Special price of £49.95, saving £5. So it's like £1 on each one. And if you're a Diamond Club member, that brings it down to £42.46.
Yeah.
But just like the new collection, all the different elements and the assets are sort of perfect for that, aren't they?
So if we take this one here, right, just to isolate one, right, with isolate one, you can see there's the stamp set. You're in my thoughts. You've got all these fantastic little birds. You got for the stamp pens. This is absolutely
aren't
fantastic.
And the stamp pens came after
stamp pens, absolutely fantastic for I was using them with the little houses and the little trees in the new one because they're just perfect for positioning.
If you want a set of the 4 stamp pens, the item number for that is 31749.
And the stamp pens, if you're not familiar with them, this is a Dave invention, and they are absolutely brilliant. I've got a square one, I've got 2 round ones there. What have I got? Here they are. I've got there they are. They're my worker ones. So I've got a square, a rectangle, a circle, and an oval. Do they need to be all different sizes? Oh, it just catches the different shapes of the stamps, really. Yeah. But they're permanent like that. They sit up beautifully. They balance. They're great for positioning. They're great for working with. We launched those with
New
some
Year,
wreaths,
new idea, and that was with the Build a Wreath collection, and they went completely
crazy.
Yeah.
They still are going crazy. They're still sitting downstairs.
Sitting down there. I
said, you know, when you have your knee operation next week,
we'll send them home.
We could get him one of them. I've got one.
One of those tray things.
Yeah, I said we'll be all right. We'll get that sorted out. A bit of glue.
Distraction.
Off you go. You need to stay active, I'll say to
him. Absolutely. And on the treadmill while he's doing that on the treadmill.
So the point is that there are 5 of these.
5 different ones.
5 different ones. Once again, different landscapes.
All come with the masks. Yeah.
You can see here, this is one that I did. Here's one that I did. This is before I added any of the elements. Now you could take that and you could take another set and you could add those trees to that.
Of course you could.
The interchangeability on these is quite something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now on our website, claritycrafts.com, if you go to the front of the website, there's a little button in the top right hand corner that says Clarity TV. And if you click on that button, everything that Barb's sharing with us during this hour and the 2 o'clock hour is all in there. So you've got the bundles in there, you've got them all individually as well. So all you need to do is go in there and then that'll be there forever now. But if you're ringing up to place an order, there's the numbers that we're giving you, give those to Sue, Jazz or Pete over the telephone and they can find it instantly.
Because we don't have talk back here.
No.
We are an
Jane
island.
On text.
We've got Jane on text. Lovely Jane is in the building with yourselves. If you've got any questions, then she can filter them through to Paul.
She can indeed.
But other than that, we're just checking out.
Absolutely. There's no pressure selling, is there? We're just sharing everything with you.
We're sharing, we're showcasing.
Don't need to call stock updates.
No.
Because we make it.
So if we could just have a look, Paul, at the top ones,
okay,
and then I'll just show you the different sets. So this one here is the Highlands. I don't think we'll worry about artwork. We'll do that in the afternoon.
We can.
It's already nearly half past.
Goodness.
So this one is the Woodlands.
There we go.
You just can see the interchange, and each of them comes with a mask.
A different mask.
A different mask. This is Time to Reflect, South Downs. Love that. And see the dogs and the cats and the leaves and the foliage and the geese. It's just fabulous.
That's lovely.
This is a nice one. So we've got, I remember doing with the sheep, made the sheep.
Yes.
So this one's the meadow. Maybe you just grab my one that I did. That one there. Just to show you how I did just so you get a perspective on this one. Right, that's the mask. Let me just show you what I did last time. So you can see here how I turned this is obviously the other way around, isn't it? But you can see how I made this into water. This bit here, because it's got a straight line. Wherever there's a straight line, it's an opportunity to do water. It doesn't even have to be a straight line. It could be a cove.
Yeah,
you know?
Definitely.
But I just wanted to show. And then depending on the intensity of the colour, you see the saturation of the colour, whether you, it's just 5 minutes longer.
Which is where the brushes help.
There we are. And this is all done with brushes and sponges. And it's all to do with just the same colours, just a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Interesting, huh? So that's that one, Paul, if I could give you that
back.
And then
the final one.
And then this one, this is the Savannah. So the Savannah, of course, the trees, and because they've got such long trunks, this one's particularly good because you can bend it over, and then you can twist it round, and then the elephant can actually reach the foliage and things like that. These little birds here, this eagle again. We hope it's an eagle and not a vulture.
You can see that they're just all going to cross-reference with the new collection.
They are totally. So and you can see also just how versatile all these. I mean, they're fantastic, really. There's one that I did last time as well, showing you how you can take that tree and bend it right over. You see, or you can. That's it as it comes, and this is the one it's the same tree, just twisted over.
It's lovely.
Wishing you well. Feeling a little bit jaded. Team lose.
Need some water. A bit wilted.
Yeah. So those are the sets. Can I give you those back?
You can indeed.
So that you can reconfigure.
Yeah.
And then the masks, we put together 2 packs of masks on this, and you can see here these are what we've got here is 2 sets. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4. You've got all 5 6x6, and then you've got all 5 in here. 4x4, so they are
one of each of those.
One of
ones.
each of the masks.
Yeah,
yeah. So
perfect.
there you go.
Lovely.
That's all right. You carry on.
I'm playing Snap.
That's
so go on.
Go on. You'll go.
I was going to say, should I have a recap if you wanted to get ready for the demo?
Great idea.
Yeah. Joke. Right. So we'll go to the pack shop. We'll bring that up. So the item number for the brand new collection is 21233. The complete collection is £31.98. If you belong to one of our clubs, then it brings it down to £28.78. If you belong to 2 of our clubs, you get a 12.5% saving, brings it down to £27.98, and then 15% brings it down to £27.18.
Okay, so the other thing that I wanted to just flag up as well is Clarity TV. It's a little bit different here. First of all, no pressure, Helen. Although we hope that you buy this stuff.
Jane said she's ordered.
They're so good to use. And because we've just come in off the back of a huge sale for the members, we decided to keep it small, keep it rolling, keep it moving, something new, but with a very modest investment. And also to celebrate the brushes and the sponges.
Definitely.
Now, what we do though on Clarity TV is if you go to the front of the website, for example, when you up in the top right hand corner, Paul, you go for it.
So you've got the Clarity TV button. So when you go into that section that we mentioned earlier, where you can see everything in today's shows, just above that, there's a bar that says Catch Up and Craft. You can go into there and you'll find all of the TV shows that we've been doing since, well, Create and Craft was no longer up in Oundle. And what Barb had the idea of was to, when doing a demo, to create a download. So what we've got here, which is for this show as well.
We've got these downloads.
Yes.
And so for every demo that I do, or even if I don't do it, but you've got the project, it's still a project sheet for you.
Yeah.
Right. So for example, this is the first one I want to do with the Wild West. So I'll show you how to use the masks, how to get that. I haven't even added any imagery to it. I just want to show you how to use the masks.
Yeah.
Right. Then, for example, there's one here, and you can see beautiful. The paper creates the grunge.
It does. Yeah.
So, but you'll see what we've got is what was made. Right, with a project sheet, and what was used, and this tells you exactly which colours I used. And I actually itemized the colours on this because you want to know, as a. When I went back, God, did it just get warm in here?
Yeah, I
what
thought
happened
there?
I don't know what happens, but suddenly it goes.
Normally it's the afternoon, but it's very mild out there today, isn't it, compared to the past?
Shall I go and open the window?
I'll do that way if you want to talk.
Okay, you talk. I'll go and open the window.
You talk.
I'll talk. Suddenly it gets really warm in here. I think we're going to have to think about AC. Right. So what we've done here is we've got these. That's better. You can feel a bit of air straight away. So we've got these downloads. One of the things that I think is when you're doing the landscapes like this, you really want to know what colours I used.
Yeah, definitely.
And this is the one we're going to go to now. Again, which colours? So I've actually listed exactly what colours, because I think for this particular trick, I didn't just put a selection of archivals. You know what I mean? So you can download these.
You can. And
so how did I get that? These are acrylic paints. So I showed you exactly how I got this, etc.
And so some of the artwork that we were looking at earlier, and we made reference back to the launch of the original collection.
Yeah.
You can go back to that same section and download the projects that Barb did back in October as well.
Exactly.
So it's a really good. I know many of our friends print them off. They put them in a folder so that if they've ordered the item, when it turns up, not only can they go back and watch the video, but they can also, they've got this in a file then that they can flick through and go, oh yeah, I remember that. I want to do this now. What colours did Barb use?
Yeah. Oh, because even a week in, I was so glad that I actually wrote it out. You know, we know this as colorists. It's like
Yeah.
when you're doing we're doing the floral posters on a Thursday
Yeah.
evening, and I'm always so glad that I've written down in my little book what colours I use, because when I want to replicate it and do, it's like there are about a dozen different pinks, you know. So same here. Now, what's interesting? Yeah. So these downloads are invaluable. Okay, and but what's very interesting. Now, let me just put these in the right place. Oh, Alice had some fun.
Organisation.
Right. Yeah. This time, what I did was I tried something a bit different.
Okay.
To make myself use different colours, because we tend to get comfortable, don't
Yeah.
we? So what I did was this. I went to Sam's Papers, and I picked a paper of Sam's. Let me show you. I picked a paper of Sam's, this one, out of one of her. We'll get there. You wait. These are so good.
These
I
are
can't even
I know. I'd completely
describe.
forgotten about this collection.
So I wanted to use the landscape that's the Wild West.
Yeah.
So I thought this colour kind of reminds me of that, right? Because you've got the reds and the oranges and the sunsets and that olivey colour. So I thought, okay, so how do I get? I've kind of saddled the horse backwards,
literally.
Yeah. And so what I did was I went into my ink pad stash.
Yeah.
Is that as far out as we can go? Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to my ink pad stash and I matched before I'd even right. So I went, right, that's nice, that crushed olive. And I think that fossilized yellow is not the mustard seed that we usually go to. And I've got a spice, I've got fired brick. See, I've got the reds and oranges in here.
Yeah.
See what I mean? And then I thought, well, hang on a minute, there's a dusty Concord. So you've got that kind of purple color going a bit as well. There's some shaded light. Rather than going for blue, I went for these colors.
And I reckon that Sam probably created these with distress inks when she was creating the papers. And a little bit of paint and stuff like that.
You never know with Sam.
And I bet she didn't make a list of what colours she used.
No, I bet she didn't. But what I wanted to show you was that then what I did was I constructed this and I just went in with those colours.
Yes.
Right. And then I ended up with the absolute super match.
Yeah.
For me, it just sits so perfectly because I made it fit perfectly. I used the colours.
Used the colours from the paper.
You know, and the best part of it was while I was doing this, what I really enjoyed was I didn't know what I was going to get. I knew I wanted orange in the sky. I knew I wanted a sunset. I knew I wanted the light on that side. In fact, you can use a little bit of antique linen. It's a real base colour. Yeah, antique linen is a real base colour. It doesn't change the other colours too much, but it's great. And when you put like when you use shaded lilac, it turns into a blue. Oh, it's really interesting. Yeah, so lots of different things that I experienced.
Yeah.
You know?
And as you say, normally you would go to your artwork first and then find, I mean, our lovely companion papers, designer papers, and you would do it that way, wouldn't you? No,
normally I'd go for the inks, and then I spend half a day looking for a paper
trying to find,
fits.
Absolutely.
Whereas this time I went the absolute other way around and decided what colour I want.
Yeah.
So let me show you Sam's papers because they also, I put them in a file so that you can see them. They've been in our cupboard for a while.
They have,
but they're so beautiful for this.
I'd completely
and for the paper collages. We want to talk about the paper collages as well. Let me show you. Let's pan out a little bit so you can see them. And there's three different sets.
So we've got the details on the screen for the complete collection, which is 31762.
Just hold that.
Free for the price of two, basically.
Right. If I show you another one here, right. So this one, I'm going to do this one this afternoon.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm going to show you this. This is exciting. This is the sort of stuff I really like. So that's that piece there.
Yeah.
Okay. This is just one of the pieces. And then if I turn this over, there's the same one, right? But it's got this overlay.
Oh,
so it's got that in it,
pattern,
right?
Yeah.
So now we've got a pattern. Look, this is gorgeous as well. Believe you me, I got a sport for choice. But let's just take this one.
Yeah.
Right. Now, let's have a look at the artwork because I think you'll get it. You watch in a minute. So this one here, I've used that.
Yeah.
In the background. You can see that's up there.
You can see that. Yeah.
Right. Let go a minute. Right. So let me take that and let me come over this side. So you see this one here?
Yeah.
So what I did was I chopped it up into 4 quarters. So I've got that one, look, that one, and that one.
And that one.
So I took those 4 bits.
Yeah.
That's it. I took this one and I put it over here, and then I made trees, and it sat just like that. And I said, that is lovely.
That is mad.
And you know what? This is the key. When you use the masks, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
And then I put the little trees, look, the little tree.
Little stalks in there.
If you can see that, let me just get in a bit closer. I think it's worth seeing that. There you go.
Wow.
There you go. So there's a little tree.
I thought that was the stamp.
No, that's look.
The paper.
But if that's not a load of trees, I don't know what is.
It is.
And see the little tiny trees that are in the stamps.
Set.
And then the little house that I drew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another little pair of trees. There you go. Then that beautiful set of stamps.
That you relaunched the other week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're wondering where this came from, that's a quarter out of that. There's one sheet there.
Wow. So that's 4 cards.
There you go.
Mini makes.
I was really chuffed with it. Yeah, mini makes. Didn't that come out lovely?
Yeah.
So that's one of the projects. I know we could be here all day doing this, couldn't we?
I mean, these papers, say we've got the complete collection on the screen. You've got 3 different packs from Sam.
I'll just flick while you talk.
Okay. Each of them have 12 sheets of 7.5 by 7.5 paper. And you get 4 designs. So that gives you 12 sheets. It's 160 GSM. Plus you get 2 postcards.
They're what I just showed.
Yep, those there. And you also get 4 notelets. So perfect. Oh, look at that.
Yep.
So for this collection, you've got 3 for the price of 2.
Oh,
I know. Look at that.
Right, check that one out.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got to go. I've got to show you this because these papers have been sorely neglected.
They have. And not many of our friends at home have got all the equipment to be able to create this type of effect. And if you do it, it's once only, isn't it?
I did the same thing with the colours again.
Yeah.
Picked the colours to match this.
Okay.
And then and that is how that ended up there. See, I took the pinks and the lilacs and the purples. And in fact, I did the same. Look, same again. So you see how I've got my orange, my greens, my grunges. See, it's quite something.
It is, yeah.
So again, it's picking those colours. They're so amazing.
They really are. So you can go crisp and clean with your artwork.
Get a crimson red and then tie that into that background. You can chop them up.
I like this one. So you can see they've got that effect of sort of like texture. You've got your little notelets in there. You've got your little postcards in there as well.
And then the other thing is, if you've got, I mean, I'm not saying this is the right colour.
Yeah.
Right. But if, for example, I want to mount this on, it's not the right colour, but if I had the right colour,
yes,
and I'm not interested in the just to say stuff, right, then this is, look, it's a backer. Do you see?
Or you could build a scene within that panel, couldn't you?
Of course you can. Right, but she's done some fantastic. Fill your home with pretty things, with love and happiness. It's not the house that makes it home, but the love that you invest.
Nice.
Right? But if you wanted to use that, if you don't want it, then use it as a backer for the right colour. You know, for your background, you just pick the right colour for the landscape, don't you?
Wow.
I think these are fantastic. Right.
That is, and again, it was when you were showing the artwork, Bob, that you created. I think initially I said, where'd the papers come from?
Yeah.
So, had you created
I love that one.
That's nice.
See, I've got a few of these papers like this. And you covet them. I don't want to use it.
You don't want to use them.
But so they're printed paper packs. This is great. Look, these are.
Look at that.
Honestly, when you start to use them,
that could be like a landscape there, couldn't it, on its side?
Exactly that. Or when you chop this up, you'll be surprised.
Yeah.
And the other thing is about it is the translucency as well. When you start using these papers, they add grunge to the background. So instead of it being super smooth like that,
it makes it look a little gritty.
You get that grungy, gritty, mixed media look.
Wow.
You know. So yeah, very, very lovely papers.
And for that price, you're getting 3 for the price of 2 in that collection.
There you go. That's it. That's all of them. So really beautiful papers.
And if you're looking for a folder to store them in, then the item number for that is 30562.
Yeah, really delightful to use. I got a lot of pleasure out of those. Yeah.
Because let's say not everyone has that capability of creating those type of effects. And that's, I think, why the designer papers were really popular when we launched them. And still are.
Yeah.
Because just to create one piece and then have to do it again. You'll never get the same again. So with the papers, I mean, at that price, when you look at what Barb's going to do to create that background, is brilliant.
Yeah, exactly. But I want to show you how to use the masks now. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong, those papers, they work with any.
Of course they do. Yeah,
it's just
they're
mixed media papers. They're just beautiful backing papers. And they also work fantastic with the collage.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't forget to talk about that.
Collage, yeah. Well, we control the time, so.
Right, so if we take a look here, well, I'm going to show you how to use the mask.
Yeah.
Once this is, you can only do this for the first one, right? But it's such a delightful process. You want to do it.
Yeah.
Right. And then afterwards, once you've done it, once you've used it, then you just store it on. I've got my mask ready to go, and I can use it again and again and again.
Yeah.
Right. So I just use it on the sheet that it came on. But the first time round, it comes like this.
Yes.
So, and we even made card to fit it.
To fit it.
Right, because I said this would be a really easy way to go if the card were made to fit.
Rather than having to try and get it in the middle, trim it down, chop it all away, and then you've got no artwork.
Right, so here, this is 6 by 4.5.
Yeah.
Beautiful size.
And the item number for that is 31720.
Yeah. So we've got the card that fits. So that's the first thing we're going to do.
Yeah.
And then, right, it's good thickness as well. What is it? 300?
300, I think.
300 GSM. I thought it was like substantial. Right, so now we're going to take low-tack masking tape.
Yeah, which we also have on the show.
And I'm just going to run it around the edge. And I'm going to, so what I'm going to do in a minute, see, I'm going to lay this down on here.
Right.
Right. But I want to make a little border.
Yeah.
Let's say. So let's put it down the side just a little bit. I'll come in about like that.
Yeah.
Because in a minute I'm going to come on there like so, and I want this to sit on there. Right. So I'll do 2 of those. We've got the low tack masking tape. Absolutely brilliant. We'll do the 2 side ones like that.
Yeah.
Right. So we've got that like that. Because in a minute, this inner line here is going to sit on there.
Top.
Right. That's the intention.
Yeah.
Right. Now the top and the bottom, I'm doing the sides first.
Yeah.
And then I'll do the top and the bottom. And the reason for that is because maybe I want to extend.
Oh, the sky.
Yeah.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah.
So at the moment, it's going to look a bit like a Polaroid because this is going to sit like that on there, and then that's going to be empty.
Nice.
But if I wanted to make the sky taller, then I just bring it down like that.
Yeah.
And then when I move the mask, so then I do that, right, like so. But when I peel the mask off, this is exposed as well. Yeah. Right. You'll see in a minute. I'll show you. But that's why we're doing these ones last. So we'll do that one and that one. Let's say there.
Okay.
And then we'll see. So when that sits on there, we can move it. It's a moving feast, that one. Right. Okay. But you've got to decide whether you want to extend the sky before you plant it.
Or the base.
Or the base. Yeah, that's something you've got to decide. But the tip here is that you put the top and the bottom down after you've done the sides. Otherwise, there's a lot of this fiddling going on. Okay. How does she know these things?
You don't want to be fiddling with your low-tack tape.
Right. So now we've got that one, and we're going to pop that on there. Just because in a minute we're going to be using brushes and ink and all sorts.
The back in stock brushes.
The back in stock brushes that come with the free sponges.
Free sponges.
Okay. So now let's take this and I'll show you a trick.
Okay.
I like this idea. Right. So we take our low tack masking tape again.
Yeah.
And let's use a bit of the old stuff. Keep using the new. Right. So let's go. And I'm going to show you how to transfer it. So I'll take a piece of masking tape. And
this was also the trick you came up with, our lovely adhesive backed felt, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a game changer. That was.
That was a real game changer.
It was.
Right. So I'm going to use 4 bits like this. It's just easy to do it like this.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm going like that. So that I've got all the bits. Now I'm going to take my finger and I'm just going to add a bit of pressure so there's a bit more of a seal on this.
Yeah.
Because it's low tack. The clue's in the name. I want to make it stick a bit harder. Yeah?
Yeah.
And then I'll take this one and I'll pop that on there like so.
Okay.
Right, because that's going to be my positioner one.
Yes.
Right, and then I'll turn it over. Then I'm going to use my finger and I'm just going to peel off the wax carrier sheet.
Okay.
Okay, so here we go. So I'm just going to take this off, hold that in place like so, and then I'll lift that off, and then that will just come off like so, and I've got the whole mask there like so.
In one place.
In one piece.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll hold on to that though, because that's where we're going to position. Yeah, that's it. So pop that there like so. Now I've got this one. Now I don't want to extend the sky, let's say.
Yeah.
But if I do, this is the decision maker.
Okay.
So I've got that. If I want to extend the sky, then I've got to come down a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to lose this one. I'm going to pop that one there because just in case.
Right.
Okay. So then I'm just going to pop this on there like so.
This is so clever, using the low tack tape to hold the complete mask together.
Yeah.
And position it where it needs to be without getting all sticky.
Well, you hope so, don't you? I reckon that'll do. Like that. So you go like that.
Yeah.
Down it goes. Okay, it's all in place now.
Yeah.
And then I can just lift this off, and I can use these bits again in a minute if I choose to. So I did definitely put some pressure on that.
You can see that on that one, yeah, as you were pulling that one back. So
we go like that. We've done that. And then we've put the mask in place. Cool, huh?
Yeah.
Right. And then we'll just make sure that it's all stuck down. Nice, nice, nice. So now it's all in place, sorted. The whole thing is there, and you can see where the picture's going to end.
Yes.
You see? And this bit here comes off. You don't need that.
Right.
That's
okay.
it's
just to keep it.
Just to make sure that it's all squared off
when it's made.
When you lay it down and when it's made. Otherwise, it's a bit of a monkey for cutting, isn't it?
Yes.
Especially for Lisa when she's chopping up.
Yeah.
See? So now that one. So at this point, I've made this. I could make this longer here.
Ground.
Do you see the ground bit? But if I want to, I can cut it off there, and then it's going to be that size. Yeah. Right. So now I've done that. This is where the colouring starts. So I've got my ink pads.
Yeah.
Let me just clear the decks here a minute.
Should I have a look at the pack shop where you have a bit of a tidy up?
Yeah, please. Because otherwise there's so much going on. It's like...
Right, so if you want this brand new collection, which has launched this morning at 10 o'clock, the item number is 21233. If you want to maybe top up on some of the masks, then if you want to go for some more of the 4x4s, the item number for that is 31765. Maybe you want to go for the larger ones, the 6x6 ones, then the item number for that is 31764.
Right, so can I come back to me?
You can indeed.
Thank you, Paul. So I've got my carrier sheet and I've got my mask. So what I'm going to do now is lift this off here, because that's the first thing I want to do is the sky.
Okay.
Right, so I'll start with the sky. You could start, if I wanted to make the sky, do you remember I said earlier, if you want to make the sky bigger, apart from extending it, I could also lose that bit and bring the sky down a bit, just remove more masks.
Yeah.
Right, but we'll go with this one.
Okay. Yeah, just as it comes. Yeah.
Of course. Or, come on. Just make a decision, Gray. Right, so now if I'm going to go with the yellow first, right, because that's the way, when I did this, I wrote it in the order that I went down.
So you built up your colours.
Yep.
Good tip.
So I went to fossilized amber.
Yeah.
Right, because otherwise it's like, well, which one went first? Fossilized amber.
Which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah.
No, it was fossilized amber.
It was fossilized amber. So I'm going to use that. Oh, do you know what? I'm pushing the boat out here.
Brand new brush.
Yeah. So let's use the new brush. I'm not using the largest one. I'll use the second one. Right. So fossilized amber. And this is where the brushes and the sponges come into their own.
Yeah.
So good colour, nice yellow. So when you sweep, you sweep. You sweep from side to side, brand new brush.
You can see that already.
And you can feel it coming through. Right, the longer you do this, the darker the colour gets, right? So you can go like that. It's nice.
It is.
Right? And then just keep going. And what you'll find is, this is where you just have to accept that it takes a little while. And the longer you do the brushing, you sweep, 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 you'll see it starts to build up. Let's go in a bit closer, shall we? So we can see that better.
And you're not going straight onto your artwork, you're starting off of the page, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm all over here, look.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm just sweeping like that. And then I've got my yellow in place. Now, if I want to, I can take a sponge, and you can see here, if I come in really tight, let's see if you can see the change in texture. So when I go on with the sponge,
which are free with the brushes,
watch how it smooths out the colour. So if I'm coming through like that, what you'll see is that see how it changes it?
Yeah.
So let's come down there.
Speeding up the intensity of the colour as well, isn't it?
So it also, I can sharpen that edge there.
Yeah.
Because I know that there's ink on here, see?
Yes.
So you use the brushes, you use the masking tape, you're using your edges, right? This is your frame. So I've got that colour now. Now I don't want to take that off yet.
No.
I don't want to do that because it's difficult to get it back in the exact right place, right? So that's my fossilized amber.
Yeah.
Done that one.
Okay.
Happy with that.
Yeah.
So now let's take my spice marmalade. This one is going in my pot for the yellows.
Okay.
Yep. Spice marmalade.
Orange brush.
Orange brush. Right, so now let's get some orange going. But maybe I want to get some shadow. So this, I might leave that side.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll just concentrate on this side. So this is where you start to change the, see, so you get a little bit going down there, but maybe I want this lighter over here.
Yeah.
Do you see?
Yeah.
So now I'm moving across
so
like
you're just sort of starting more in the middle and working outwards to the left.
Yeah, or I could sweep from that side, but I want to get that moon shadow. See, that's what I'm after, is that moon shadow. So now I can put a bit of orange down there, and sure, I could put a little bit over there. I might come back in on that one, right? So I'm going to turn that sponge round now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to sweep through. You can see the ink.
Yeah.
Right? Coming off the masks. It's a good idea to do this. It cleans the mask and it sharpens the line. Right? And if I wanted that to be really dark, but I'll show you in a minute. I don't actually, because it's the sky. Right? Let's not overcook it. So now I've done that and I've smoothed out that ink.
Yeah.
Are we cool with that?
Yeah.
Right.
And it's nice because you've started on one side and you've brought it in.
So I've got fired brick, but I know I'm not going fired brick in the sky.
Yeah.
So I'll show you now. See, well, all the time I was looking, right, so I've done my fossilized amber, and I've done my orange, and now I'm going to that red.
Yes.
Right, so now I want to use the red. But what I'll do is I'll cover this bit up now.
Yeah.
Because I want a line.
Oh, of course, yes.
So what I'll do now is I'll take that mask. It's best if you leave this to dry.
Yeah.
But in the name of art, I'm not gonna.
Of course, yeah, because it's still going to have some moisture in the cards, isn't it?
But it'll be fine. So I'm just going to do that, and I'm just going to pop that back over the top so it's replacing, right? And it's worth taking the time to do that so that it doesn't overlap, so it sits nicely. But you can see, yeah, it butts up.
Yeah.
It's perfect, right? So once it's butted up, you can feel it. That works.
It goes completely smooth.
Yeah, it goes smooth. Now I'll take that one away, right? So now I'm moving this one away, and I'll pop that one on here. So that's how you move your way down. That's so good to do.
Yeah.
I can't.
And this is where you said if you wanted to, this could be blue, it could be water.
Yeah. Now I could start changing. I could take that one out and that one out because these are two
deeper.
Get deeper water.
Of course, it's two different masks. Yes. Either side of that.
So now, for example, let's do what I did. I'm going orange here.
Yeah.
Right, but I'm going to mix it up with the red.
Yeah.
See? So now I'm going, so I did yellow and orange. Now I'm doing orange and red.
Orange and red. So you've got that flow of colour coming through.
So now I've got a different colour coming in here.
And you're using distress ink pads, just normal dye-based ink pads for this.
Yeah. So I think it's worth, if you don't mind, just watching this happen.
Yeah, I think you need to.
You know, you need to sort of see it to the end, really.
It's that big reveal, isn't it? That
it's really, and I might not go as dark as the original because,
I mean, it looks darker in the studio here than it does on the
screen.
Camera. Yeah.
So now I'll take my orange. See it all over the mask.
You can definitely see that. Yes.
Right. So now I'm going to sweep that in to that mountain, into that area, whatever it is in that in the distance. And one of the things, you know, when we've gone over to New Mexico and the Southwest, and anybody that's been over there will know exactly what I'm talking about. It's the vistas, it's the panoramas. It goes on and on and on.
Like
it's
never ending.
You can't believe the depth
because it's so flat.
Yeah. Well, it is. It depends where you're standing. But
if you're standing in front of the mountain, it's not so flat.
No, it's quite rocky actually. But let's take, for example, that red now.
Yeah.
Right. And maybe, let me see if I'm just going to go in with the ink, with the sponge.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm kind of orangey reddy colour
So you're
now.
blending, mixing your colours up a little.
And I'm using that instead of going in with the brush.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just going in here like that. Watch this.
To intensify a little.
Yeah. So now I can really get in there. See how it's, the brushes, they get a colour.
It puts the undercoat down, doesn't it?
That's
and
it.
the sponge, which are free with the brushes, and you get 16 sponges in that pack. So I don't think you're just getting 1 or 2. It's a complete pack of 16 sponges.
So that will do for the reddy orangey colour.
Yeah.
It's intense, but it's beautiful. Right, and then I'm going to go back to my mask and replace that. See, and it's a bit of a kind of an adventure, because you don't know really what you're going to get
until it's all removed. It's like a little jigsaw type of effect, isn't it?
It is. And then you just, maybe you use tweezers, or let's just pop that down like so. Just replace that. Make sure that it's it's got to fit, because it all came out of there. You know, that's the thing, isn't it? So we've got that. I'm happy enough with that. And then we'll take that one out, and we'll take this one out. And it is a process, and it does take a little time.
But look at the result.
Yeah. So now we've got that one. Go on, Paul.
This, like I say, we were talking earlier about back in the day, it was torn paper. There's no way
I know
you could have done this.
But this changes.
Yeah.
This changes everything. So let's go with a bit of crushed olive.
Yeah.
Right. Let's back up a bit so we can see it better. Just see what I'm actually doing. So with the crushed olive, I'll go in with, see, and it's up to you now. Do you want to use a brush? Do you want it? I like the brush to get the
undercoat.
Yeah, the undercoat. And then you can go from there. So you may want to, let's see what colour this is. Let's see what we get. Yeah, that's quite nice.
So it's like seasoning the cards, isn't it, with the brushes?
So we'll get a little bit of, let's go in there. So you're going to get a little bit of that green now. But you can see how, build that colour up. When you start adding, you know, a little bit of orange to this, it changes the green completely. So, you know, it just intensifies the colour. And how much you want to use. Are we doing all right for time?
Yeah, I think we're just over, but I think that's fine. I think our friends are enjoying the process.
I hope so.
If this is the first time they've seen this type of mask from Clarity, I think you've got to see. We can't sort of say, right, time's like, we've got to stop now, come back at 2 o'clock.
No.
You sort of lose the momentum. You want that complete process.
Yeah. So you see, I can go in there with a bit of that. Got quite a light colour there. Let's get a bit of depth around there, like that. So I'm using the sponge now to get the real depth. Okay. So that works. Right. It'd be interesting to see what we get when we reveal.
Because you are looking at those colours individually, aren't you, as you're processing it?
Exactly. So then we'll pop that one on there. So you replace that one.
Yeah.
And then you replace this one. I tell you what, I'd really like to talk, while I'm doing this, why don't you talk about the online courses that are available?
Okay. So last year, Barb had the idea of online workshops. It's on a completely different platform, which is a circle platform.
Yeah.
And it all started off on a project that Barb created for our summer retreats.
That's right.
And Barb had been playing with sort of like collage, and because you really wanted to get in the collage type of effect.
I'm really into
with our lovely
collage.
papers. Yeah. And that's where the infusion papers started from. It goes back as far as that, doesn't it?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
With those. So Barb did, we did a project at the summer retreats, and that was using the cottages. It was a 12 by 12 canvas, and it was all about taking the papers and building up the landscapes. And I reckon that's probably where the theme of the landscapes really kicked off to create what we're looking at
everything
now.
That we're doing.
Yeah.
I think the whole landscape thing came from this, you know, and I'll tell you where it came from. I was speaking to Eileen Godwin, right, back a year ago, right, or, you know, quite a while ago. And she said to me, because things were challenging at the TV, and, you know, and it was like, I felt like we were losing our grip. And I spoke to Eileen as a friend, right? And she said to me, go back to what we all love you for. Go back to what how did I get into it? I got into it because you were doing a landscape with a plate.
Yeah.
Go back to your landscapes. There's no one to touch you. When you get onto your landscapes, you're amazing. This is why you've got all your followers, because we love your landscapes. We love the way you take your torn paper and your moon and you make your hills and and she said that's where you need to go back to.
So it reignited the passion.
Yeah,
didn't it?
what she was saying to me was, you've gone so far off piste trying to please everyone that you've lost your way. And I said, I really am unhappy. She said, well, get back on the bus.
Yeah.
So I rewound and then I came back.
Yeah.
And that's why. So shout out to Eileen for being honest and telling me what's what. But she said, do what you're good at, do what we all love what you do. And so that's why the landscape. And then we did the paper collage, because I really like that, mixed media layering papers, which is why these Sam Crow papers would be fantastic for this. And we also had those tea infusion papers, which is what I used.
Well, it started, didn't it, really? So you would go in there,
I'll carry on with that. You shout about that.
Okay, yeah. So, as we said, it started off at the retreats. We did a fantastic piece of artwork. And when people were doing it, thinking they couldn't, Barb always says, it's not over till it's over. And it surprised a lot of people because the end result was absolutely amazing.
It did.
And obviously because only a certain amount of people can come to the retreats or they can't travel. So Barb had the idea of doing a paid online workshop. So it started off with the Lighthouse online workshop. So I'm just going to bring up the details on the screen now. So Barb did a pre-record and then it was a live session. It was on a Saturday afternoon. It was like 5-6 hours, wasn't it?
It went on from 1 o'clock till 6 o'clock.
Yeah. So, and it was literally in real life and it was step by step.
See how, sorry, I'm interrupting.
Yeah.
See how the lilac on top of the antique linen, it goes.
It's not lilac, is it?
No.
It's that lovely blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just showing you, if I'd go in with a spot on sponge, which is free with the
free with the brushes.
Well, and I can't, I'm always going on about this, but look at this. When you put pressure on it as well, even more so, see how you can come in from the side. So this is really, I can't really, you have to do it to understand how brilliant it is to do it, right? So how the ink just smooths and the spot on, see the colour that
it's changed. It's not
lilac,
colour,
it's a turquoise blue colour.
Yeah.
Right? And it changes when you add pressure to it. Shaded lilac is weird like that.
There's a couple of colours that does that, doesn't it? It change the effect.
So you see, I can add a bit of look. Let's just get a bit of shade up there. I can put a bit of shade in there. You can really add like hills and like trails and you know. I'm just trying to keep it as straightforward as possible. Yeah. So
the online workshop.
Yeah.
So Barb did the first one, which was the Lighthouse paper collage. The item number for that is 60219.
We'll show you the artwork in a minute when I've done this, shall we?
And it's still available. So you've got the pre-record, you've got a copy of the live one as well. So they're both the same, just that one, there's more interaction because it was a live show with people asking questions. So for that £65, not only do you get the tuition, but you also get the kit to complete everything.
Should we show?
Yeah. So there's a couple of we look at the Lighthouse one.
You can go to
the front.
Yeah, okay. I'm just putting down masks. So our friends know what we're doing.
Is your finished piece of artwork. Okay. So this is what was created in that online workshop. And what we send you for that money is you get the kit. Okay. And you get the papers, you get the canvas board. There's a little list of ingredients of what you would need in addition. And it's not much. It's like low tack tape, a Pritt stick, scissors, tweezers, a pencil, and a Baron, something flat to smooth it out. That's all that's required.
Yeah.
And when you're finished, you will have.
And we do it in actual time.
Yeah.
I did a pre-record. So I spent 5 hours doing a pre-record and then I spent 5 hours live.
Doing the live.
So I needed to make sure I knew what I was doing for a start.
And so you've got the Lighthouse one, which is available there.
Let me show it on if I show it on the overhead, I'll be aware of my inky fingers and inky stuff here. But I think if you really like landscapes, then this is something that you might really enjoy. So this was the lighthouse
That was the first
version.
online workshop.
And there's
wasn't
a process. There's a serious. It's not. It's achievable. It's achievable. You got to know how, right? And so you can make this one.
Yeah.
And then you get the collage kit, which gives you everything that you need, the papers, everything except the
list that I just
little
read out.
list. Yeah. So everything's in there. Look, you've got your papers, you've got
a picture of what it will look like.
You've got the template. So it's all in there, plus instructions.
Absolutely.
Right. So that was the first one.
And you've got the video tutorial as well.
Well,
and
that's the whole idea.
Yeah.
That's just so that you know you've got what you need.
Yeah.
And that's included in the price.
In that price.
And also, go on.
Club discount as well on that. And
also, you can go back again and again and again. You don't. It's not
you haven't
just
got to wait until you've got 5 hours to spare. You can do a bit, stop a bit.
Yeah, you could go in, have a look, decide. Right, I'm going to set aside a time. You can watch it. You could go back. You can rewind it. You can do a bit of it. Go back. What happens is when you do this process, you actually got the capability of making 4 out of that one, right?
Yeah.
And so you may want to go back and go, oh, how did you do that? And then go back and rewind. You can fast forward. To get sick of my voice, you can turn the sound off. Yeah.
And it has that, and it's there forever then, isn't it?
So it's a £65 course, online course. It's 5 hours and you can do it at your leisure.
Yes.
And it's just me telling you how it works.
And
going through
even when you do sort of like the craft alongs from the shack, many friends at home watch first, and then watch afterwards.
Like
they want
last
to see,
night.
They want to see what the end result is going to be.
Yeah.
And then they'll watch it, and then they'll go back and do it.
Last night I did a card with D's, beautiful card of D's.
That was lovely.
Yeah, and it was one of those ones we literally deconstructed it, and it was so achievable when we did, you know. But at the time when you first look at it, you think never going to be able to do that.
No, exactly.
And then it was so easy.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think it's the same when you look at this canvas art as well. So this one was a little bit more, it was like
involved.
The next level, wasn't it?
Yeah, so this one is, this is the viaduct.
Yeah.
Right, and again, you get the kit with all the particular papers and the template, it's all there too.
Absolutely. And it's the same list of ingredients to do this one that you would need if you've done the first one as well.
And you order it online, just like any other product, 60203.
That's right. We send you the product out and then we send you a link so you can access the online tutorial through the Circle platform.
There you go.
So easy peasy, it really, really is.
Right, come on, we're going to finish this one.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, we go back on the overhead?
Yeah, go on.
There we go.
So I've done that bit. So then I'm going to take that off there. Right, I'm still on there. I've covered up the... I hope this works after all this.
I'm sure.
I'm sure it will. Right, so now I'm going into this colour. So now I'm kind of going back up on myself to repeat the colours. Now, do you remember what I said about going in with yellow? Going in with a yellow brush? I could because I'm miles away from the green, but I'm not gonna because I want to get it in tight like this, see?
And it's a smaller area, so you probably want it a little bit more intense.
Easily do this with a sponge.
Yeah.
See? So I'm going to get that yellow on there, that fossilized colour. That's nice. And then I want it to be dark. So, I've got a lot of shade options here. See, it's not hard.
No.
Right, and then maybe I want to put a bit of shade on there. So I've got my sponges. What else could I use? Have I got a red one going? I think I'm going to put a little bit of that red on there. Let's see. A little bit of red. So I've got a bit of scrap on the side.
Yeah.
Right, and then I can just add. So wonder what I get if I put red over the top. Oh, yeah, get a nice brown, see? That's nice.
Yeah.
So you see how it changes?
Yeah.
So where it's bright red, fired brick.
On there.
Yeah. So let's get a bit of depth going here. Look, oh, that's a bit dark grey. That's all right. That's it. And if I took a, I tell you what, let me, experiment, because I know it's going to tie in dusty concord. Let's see what happens if I put a bit of dust. Just check it out.
Yeah.
Right. I'll put a tiny bit of dusty concord on there and see what I get. Yeah, I reckon. See what I get. See, and then it goes grey.
More browner, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just toning down that red a bit with the dusty concord. It makes it a little bit more depth.
Yeah.
Like it. Keeping that yellow in the middle.
Yes.
Yeah. Bit of a ridge. Okay. What you'll find is it's like you know, you may not be able to go to New Mexico or Mexico, but it does transport you. And I'm not waffling. It feels like it's an arty adventure, this is, you know, and you get in there and you just try the different colours. Excuse my head for a minute.
Yeah, good.
I just want to get that. See, if it was on there to start with, it needs to be on there.
Yeah. And I think this is nice because, as you said, sort of, you chose the backing paper from Sam's collection first.
I went there.
Yeah.
Which is perfect.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how good these papers are. And to sort of saddle your horse that way round, you know, to go to the paper, and then it's an adventure. I don't know what it's going to look like.
And sometimes when we're doing sort of like our retreats and we're doing sort of inky types of projects, and you often say to our friends attending, why don't you choose colors you wouldn't normally go for?
Yeah, exactly.
And see what you get. You're not having to buy the ink pads when you're at the retreats, so play, experiment. You never know what you'll end up with.
And the other thing is, when you go to a paper like I did, these are not colors that I would have picked. Never. No. There's nothing. There's no peacock feathers. There's no teal. All the colors that I would usually go to. No, they're not even. They're nowhere in sight. But I'm just going to go. So shaded lilac, fossilized amber, you know, and then straight away people say. So remember, this is a bit of the card here.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm going to cover that up.
That's why you kept that bit of low-tack tape.
Yeah. Just remembered. Right. Because I can move this one.
Yes, of course you can. Yeah.
So let's just
no
do
outer frame to
not
it,
at all. So I could put a little. Do you see what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
And don't forget, this is just a background. This is, I mean,
it's not just a background. I mean,
no, but what I mean is, I haven't stamped on it yet.
No, but it's a beautiful piece of artwork in its own right, isn't it? And that's just using one element of that stamp collection. It's the mask.
Yeah. And once you've figured out how one mask works, which is all I wanted to do today, really, was show you all the different possibilities, but mostly show you how the mask works. Yeah. So I can always, and the other thing to know is, I might think this is a little bit too blue.
Yes.
Right, in a minute. I tell you what, I'm going to push the boat out and put a bit of green on there. Don't know what's going to happen, but if I'll never know if I don't try it.
Yeah.
So it might be pukey, but we'll give it a go. Yeah, looking a little bit pukey.
That's a new colour.
But I bet it looks really good. Yeah,
and also, 2025 is the year of colour clarity, isn't it? So to get those brushes back in stock, really makes a difference.
So let me just check that I've got a bit of contrast. I've got plenty of lovely contrast. You see, that's the other thing, is you've got to make sure I know that there's plenty of contrast there. Now the bottom one, right, let's put that one back.
Okay.
How are we doing for time? Oh, we're well over.
Still got plenty of friends in the room.
Have we?
Yeah.
Good. Thank you, friends. Right, so we do that. Now's my decision. Do I just take that one like that? Right, let's just lift that off there and pop that down and just colour that bit in.
Yeah.
Right, or that's a moving feast, that one.
Yeah.
Right. So now I'm gonna take that, because I can make this bigger. Do you see what I mean?
Yes.
I could make it like that. I could do that.
Yeah.
I could do wherever. I'll go there. I can make it any size I want now.
Yeah.
I just got to remember, I might cut that off.
Because it's just the low-tack tape, which is now confining the depth
of the
image.
Now that's making make sure it's square. Like that. Like that, not like that.
Just like that.
Right. So now the last one is the next colour. So I've done a kind of a greeny bluey one there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with alrighty, let me see. How about...
See, this could also be water at this stage, couldn't it?
It could.
Couldn't it? Because you've got that, it could be the lake.
It could be the lake in front.
Yeah.
Although there's not a lot of water. It's quite a deserty kind of.
Yeah.
But if you want to move this to the Lake District, then hello.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's see. If I'm going to go with, when in doubt, get your antique linen out.
And would you get a different result if you used oxides?
It's a chalkier kind of ink, isn't it?
Right, yeah.
But you get a lovely smooth, oxides are lovely. The thing I like about these dye-based ones is the translucency of them.
Right.
So when you see you can see through them.
Yeah.
Whereas the oxides are quite opaque.
Yeah.
So these ones, I think they're a dye-based. They blend. I like the blend.
Yeah.
So I'm using the antique linen, which has got a kind of a green effect in it, but we'll see. Right, we'll do that. Are you ready to see what I come up
I can't
with?
wait to see what this ends up like.
Well, I hope we're not underwhelmed after all this, but it didn't take that long, really.
Not really.
So I've got that one. Let me just check what I've done on this one. So I want to get it. So I've done that. I've got that. Right, I know where I'm going. Let's try a bit of orange. I know it sounds a bit weird.
Orange, okay.
But we'll go a little bit orange on this one. Orange and lilac. Who knows?
Yeah.
Right. So we'll put a bit of. Look, see how that changes.
That's changed that. That's the antique linen underneath, isn't it? And then.
So that's that orangey colour.
Yeah.
Right. We've got a bit of that going. It's going to be a bit of depth from that corner.
Okay.
Shading.
Yeah.
Right. Eternally grateful to Eileen Godfin for putting me back on track. Yeah. I mean, really, you know, it's not just about the business. It's about my soul.
Yeah.
You know, and I really, really enjoy this kind of artwork. I could go for hours doing this stuff. And when I've done this one, I'd like to go to the next one, and you know, that's how it gets you. And I'm sure that our friends at home totally understand. See, the sponges are just so cool for this stuff.
Free with the brushes.
Right, what have I got here? Really nice orange, sweeping through. And then I think just because I want to see what happens, and I don't think it's too purple. No, it's not. Right, we're going in for it, Paul.
Dusty Concord.
Dusty Concord. Because I want to bring in, I'll tell you why, I want to bring the purple in here.
That dark, yes.
See, I want to see if I can drag that in there. So let's see. I probably want to use a sponge, or I should use a brush really, but look at that. So you get in there like that. Here we go.
Yeah.
There we are. So you just sweep through. See, I sit it on there a little bit, and then I sweep. And then as I sweep through, see, it gets darker and darker.
And I suppose
if I want it to be, sorry, Paul.
Yeah.
If I want it to be really dark,
you just concentrate on that area.
Pounce rather than,
So that's what I was saying. As you're moving from left to right, there's less ink as it gets into the middle, isn't there?
Yeah.
Because it's going on that first contact point on the left.
And see what happens when you bring the purple up through the yellow or through the. It's different, isn't it?
Yeah.
And let's see. This would be a nice place to put a couple of trees.
Yeah.
A couple of those cottonwood trees would look good there. Da, da, da. Right, that'll do. My arm's aching. Okay, let's see. So we've done that one. The only thing we haven't done is the
sun
top part
or the moon.
I'm going to take that off there.
Look how white that is.
Yeah, I know. And I'm going to take that. Where's that colour? Let me see.
Is it the crushed olive?
No, it's the shaded lilac.
Oh,
I want to go with a little tiny bit of shaded lilac. Let's see. I just want to get that. See, I'm pulling in from the side, and I'm using. There's a little bit of orange.
The orange from the one underneath.
There's going to be a bit of orange on here too.
Yeah.
So I'm just getting like not dirt, but a little bit of shade. See how you can't see it, but believe you. Oh, now that would be.
That would be.
Then
purple moon.
Purple moon. I'm sure that's a thing.
It is, isn't it? I think it was recent.
No, wasn't that Prince?
That was Purple Rain.
Okay.
There was a purple moon. Oh, I'm sure there were. I don't know. There was
you go.
A special moon recently.
I can hear
Prince.
it.
Yeah, I can hear it. Everyone at home now is going to be hearing Purple Rain.
Right, now, here we go. Drum roll.
Don't zoom out because to show everything.
I'm just cleaning up the area. My trusty assistants let me down here. Right, okay. I tell you why I'm doing this, because I want to use all these bits again, see?
Of course.
So I've got to kind of be a bit more. I'll just hang on to that.
You finished with your new brushes?
I'll finish with my new brush, thanks very much.
With the 3 spot-on sponges.
Right, so now let's have a look what we've got. So we'll see. And then we're just going to pop that on there like so. And then we'll just move this across like so. And this is one of those reveals where it doesn't look like anything until it's done. And then, and this is me now saying, and if you're not happy with what you've done, right, because it's a little bit too rainbowy or colourful, you can always just go back in and go again.
Yeah.
It really makes no difference whatsoever.
That's the beauty of having the masks, isn't it? That they're perfectly cut. It's not like a torn piece of paper that's going to get saturated with ink, and then as it dries out, it becomes bubbly.
No.
The masks are a real game changer.
They are. Cool. That's orange.
But it's not. I don't think you're going to get the full effect until those borders from around the outside are removed.
Right, now we'll gently take this one off. Remember I said I wish it were dry?
Because,
Easy does it.
Because that's been the one that's been on there the longest.
Yeah, and the largest one.
Yeah.
That's all right, though. So we'll go like that, and then we'll peel it off from that side as well. So easy does it.
Yeah.
Ideally, you'd wait till it was dry. You could get a couple on the go.
That's why it's a great idea to get additional masks, isn't it? Because if you like the colour palette that you've gone for, then you can have several pieces on the go at once.
See, so I've got all my bits on there.
Yeah.
Pop my moon in as well, so I don't lose my moon. Done. Right, off comes the edge now. Da 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 da. It's a little bit bright, but I bet it works absolutely fantastic on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what I was going for, wasn't it?
Because you've got that white, because it's got the white frame and you're on white. I mean, look at that, the contrast, and then look at that. Wow.
There you go. So I made that one, I extended that one. See, look.
See, there's not much difference in it. I would say the one that you've just created is maybe a little bit lighter.
But it looks so beautiful with these colours, look.
Yeah.
So I pop that on there like so. See all the colours that come through. So I've really picked up on that purple on that, haven't I? There you go. And I showed you how you can blend colours and how you can extend the mask. You see, that's the other. So really, the colours you see how I've done it, and you can blend colours with a sponge.
Yeah.
Like you said, that could have been water if I wanted to transport it to the Lake District. But the whole trick really
is step by step.
Is to do step by step. It's a process. Trust the process, and you end up with a really lovely piece of artwork. Wow. And then, if you want to add your stamps to them, then go away. But I mean, we know how to stamp.
Yes.
You know,
I mean, look at that at 2 o'clock.
There you go.
A bit more detail.
Yeah, marvelous. I'm glad I managed to finish that.
That is beautiful, and to say the concept of going with the backing paper first and then the colours. For colours that you don't normally go for.
That's it. It's a real learning curve.
It is. Yeah. Wow. We'll just bring the details up once more for that brand new collection. So on the screen is 21233. Go to the claritycraft.com website. Go to the blue button, the turquoise button that says Clarity TV. Everything is listed in there. So if you want to add some extra bits in there, don't forget, it's all about the brushes and the spot-on sponges, which are now back in stock as well. And you're going to get those for free. And now, if this is the first time you've tuned in, this is why you need spot-on sponges.
Yeah, definitely with the masks.
Yeah. So.
And don't forget, if you're into the mask, the 4x4s, it's well worth investing in the pre-cut card because it really helps when you put the masking tape down, it's all in place.
Yeah, rather than having to try and cut it down in the middle and everything
makes a big difference to the process. It makes it easier.
Yeah.
There you go. So that'll do for today. I did all that prepping and then I got to
We've still got 2 o'clock.
Yeah, we got to 2 o'clock. And the one I wanted to show you at 2, can I just show?
Of course you can.
So the one at 2, this is an interesting one.
Yeah.
I used a 6x6 mask on this.
Right. Okay. The large one comes in that complete collection.
And I'd like to show how you get this grungy effect. Let me show you, because it's different. You see the landscape in the background, all the pink.
Yeah.
Right. But when you look, it looks as if you're looking through the clouds from above.
Yes.
Right. So I want to show you how you get that texture.
Right.
That's what we'll have a look at that at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
In different colours.
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
Having a bit of a longer break.
2 o'clock. And I'll show you in different colours how you can get that cloud, that mist effect.
Yeah.
It looks a little bit like that. Gillian Jazz were calling it like a frosty morning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've definitely had a few of those of late.
Yeah. Just that bit there, like beautiful. If you just chop that up and just took that bit there, isn't that nice?
Really, really lovely.
So there you go. We'll do that at 2.
Yep. So thank you for joining us. I hope you've enjoyed it. I know you have, because there's still many friends in the room. Thank you to Jane for helping out and sending through all the prompts and questions. And a cup of tea?
Cup of tea.
Cup of tea.
Cup of coffee. Cup of coffee.
And we'll see you all at 2 o'clock.
Thanks very much. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Bye.